Yeah. Welcome to the Mind of Basketball Podcast, NBA Finals Edition. I'm Evan.
I'm your one and only Ja.
Okay, Mike. And it's our basketball podcast. We recap, break down, and analyze players and teams in the NBA Finals from the previous games from the previous day. And, well, the last time we did this podcast, Ja, me and you were in person with three of our good friends. Mm-hmm. And you said in that podcast, Game 2, the Warriors would bounce back and blow out the Celtics. And right. I had to give you credit. Get a little golf clap.
It's all because of you. I'm watching this finals, bro. We already know what's gonna happen, bro. Like
you just gonna watch it anyway, man.
Oh, it's not.
We could have never done these. First of all, you gotta watch every NBA Finals.
That's not.
I remember
true.
This man. I'm not even gonna blow up this spot.
What you talking? Wait, I would
in 2019.
Bro, I was not going to prom, bro. Like
this like, man, everybody was at prom, having fun in high school because me and him went to the same high school. Everybody's having fun at prom, doing their thing, bringing their dates and all that, dancing and all that, enjoying time, chilling, talking. This man is at home watching Toronto the Warriors.
No. The reason why I did not go to prom is not because of the finals. It was way more deeper than that. But
this man was watching Kawhi.
Well, bro, I already had
watching family.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, all I'm going to say is I already had in my mind I was not going to prom. Okay, and I had my
the finals that day.
No, not because I did not care about the finals. I just did not want to go to prom for many personal reasons.
All right. And he says that, but yet then while I'm at prom, I get a FaceTime call. I'm looking at my phone. Chatting, why is that he calling me? He calls me. He has a We the North hat on. Hey Toronto! Because this is a game.
I was a Canadian
Our prom was the same day of Game 6 of the NBA Finals between the Raptors and the Golden State Warriors. Of course, that was when the Raptors won. So he FaceTimed me all excited because, man, long behold, he hated Golden State back then too. And he was so happy that Toronto won. And he just called me. He's like, yay, Toronto. Yay, Kawhi, Van Vliet.
Thank you, DeRozan. Thank you, Drake.
DeRozan. Yeah, let's not get into that. Drake, I guess.
He was the sacrificial lamb.
But all right. Anyway, you got it right. You hit it nail on the coffin. The Golden State Warriors, they bounced back and they blew out the Celtics. And that second half, it was really Game 1 was all about the Celtics run and their defense in that fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. Well, if that was what Game 1 was all about, Game 2 was all about the Golden State Warriors run and defense in that third quarter.
Yeah.
And I have to give them credit. We talk all about the Celtics defense all playoffs long, but now we're really getting to more of the Warriors defense. So Tatum had a bounce back game, right? But one thing that killed them in Game 1 was the other guys, the role players, the other options. In this game, no Derek White. Derek White's not putting up the same production. Al Horford had 2 points, 2 more points than me and you. Marcus Smart had 2 more points than me and you. 2 of them were not. Both of them offensively were no factors. Robert Williams was a non-factor. And so they shut all of them down. Tatum, you can get your little pockets there, but these other guys are not going to help you win this game.
Yeah.
And that was the key in this victory. One of the keys in the victory.
Well, what did Draymond say? We dominate them for 41, 42 minutes of the game. So we're not worried. But yeah, again, I said this. I don't remember when I said this, but I do know specifically talking about. I said role players step up big time. But again, even though role players aren't important for the postseason, they come and go. They're not the big time stars who you expect to have a great game each and every night. You know what I mean? especially in important stages like this. So again, the game you called it out. The Warriors being who they are, Steve Kerr's going to make adjustments, and they're going to make sure that those role players who have big time moments are going to get humbled again. You know what I mean? Basically, that's basically all that happened. The Warriors knew what they had to do. We already know that the third quarter is their quarter. They always own the third quarter. They've been owning it since 2014. They've been owning this since 2014. Let's be honest. They've been owning this since 2014. That's their quarter. Nobody else holds ground on that quarter except for them. But yet they paired it with defense and they knew what they had to do in order to win this game. The shocking one, though, is the fact that they limited Marcus Smart, because Marcus Smart is the third main piece of this Celtics team. That if the Celtics want to win this championship, let's be honest, he has to be a big. And for him to just score 2 points alone shows that the Warriors really did a good job containing him and stuff like that. And also, Horford is an anomaly because you want him to impact the game in so many ways. I don't care that he had 2 points. It's just that I just need him to do the rest of his job in other ways. He's basically like the Celtics Draymond Green in a way, in terms of he could do the same things that Draymond could do, of course, but in terms of impacting the game in many different ways because of his versatility. I'm not really upset that he had just 2 points, even though he should have more. But
okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I give it to the Warriors, man, because again, they made the adjustments and more specifically on the defensive end, and they knew what to do.
Yeah, I mean, when you have Al Horford, Robert Williams, Mark Smart, all three of them only having 2 points, and the three guys that score in double figures, 2 out of 3 are struggling from the field. Jaylen Brown, specifically in that second half, and Derek White. You got to win this game. I mean, sure, yeah, Tatum, go drop your 28. Go ahead. Don't matter. Because we can match that. We're the Golden State Warriors. We have scores that can match you. We just got to contain everybody else now.
Exactly.
And they played it beautifully. It was an amazing defensive performance by the Golden State Warriors, which should be talked about more and more. Their defense, like we said, they were the second best defense in the regular season behind the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
That showed in this game. Now, offensively in that, third quarter, as you mentioned, owned it since 2014. There are runs that they can just go on whenever they need to. And that's with a snap of a finger, with 1 3-pointer and 1 defensive stop. Then it just starts. And at the helm, of course, is, the 2-time MVP, their best player, Steph Curry.
I thought it was Thompson. Sorry.
I don't know where Klay Thompson's been, but luckily for him, everybody else been stepping up.
Hey, don't worry. If it's a game 6, you already know. But it's not gonna be no game 6 because Thanks a lot. You forcing me to watch that now. I already know it's gonna happen, but it's cool.
Anyway. Gotta give it to Stephen Curry. He was shaking and baking out Horford. Poor guy. Poor guy. He was just getting it. He was getting that second half, that third quarter.
Yeah.
He has problems. Kevon Looney, Zach Randolph. They love him in Golden State.
Yeah.
And then it became a pool party. Jordan Poole came out of nowhere, and he's dropping 17 off the bench. Now he's giving you 3-pointers. Now he's giving you 50 feet 3-pointers to end the quarter, to really cap off the run and to really cap off the end of the quarter, which essentially kind of ended the game in hindsight. So, I mean, the Warriors, they have the offense to match the Boston Celtics. They have the scores. They have the explosions. Boston can go on runs, but Golden State invented these runs in the 2010s.
Exactly.
So this is what they do, or in the past 6 years. This is what they do. They're not fair to the moment. They've been here. Okay, they got that bad loss in game 1, which they should have won. But this is what championship teams do. They are a championship team. They have the experience, and they bounce back in game 2.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. They most definitely bounced back in game 2 big time, and they needed this. You know what I mean? Because the C's basically took away home court advantage, but don't get this twisted. You know what I mean? The C's will adjust. Believe it or not, they will adjust, and they will find some way to lock up that greatest shooter ever on the other side that they got to face. You know what I mean?
They won't lock him up.
Or try to contain him.
You don't lock up Curry. He's either on or he's having a bad night himself.
Exactly, but they're going to try to contain him. And with Klay Thompson struggling, they're going to try to contain the others because they feel like Klay Thompson is going to have a which comes and goes, but Klay Thompson is not his usual self, and which is understood. But the Celtics will make adjustments and they will find some way to try to stop and limit you. They're probably going to be a little bit more physical with Curry in the third game. I really felt like they're going to be trying to be a little bit more physical and bring that toughness to him and try to limit him. But I said that they got to learn from this because you can't be letting games like this happen in the finals. Get blown out by this much. It could demoralize you in a snap of a finger.
Yeah, but I think this team, the Celtics, are the chemistry is well put together, and they have a great coach, and they're not going to just let this loss, define them. They've bounced back before. I think they will bounce back again. Maybe not win, but they'll bounce back from this loss. They're not just gonna, get gentlemen swept.
First straight.
But, yeah. I don't think that's gonna happen. But and real quick before close out the segment. Yeah, Klay Thompson, he needs to get it going. Because I feel like they're gonna need him eventually. He's gonna need to step up. He's gonna need to hit big shots. He's gonna need to have a good game. Because one of these days, Boston's gonna have it going. And they're gonna have their scorers. And for Golden State to match the scoring output of Boston, Klay Thompson's going to need to play a pivotal role in that.
Well, yeah, most definitely, and most definitely, Klay Thompson needs to step up his game. We know what he could do, and we know that he's an integral part. Obviously, he's the second. If it's not Steph Curry, he's the one that they rely on the most to get you a bucket. Of course, on that team, he has just as an impact as much as Steph Curry. You know what I mean? And they're gonna need him. But let me tell you this right now: the Celtics better find some way to win 3 straight, because if it gets to a game 6, you don't want that game 6 to happen now. I don't even care if you got the lead in the series. You do not want to be in a game 6, because you already know what I'm referring to the moment it hits the game 6. It's too late. Hey, you don't believe me? Ask Kevin Durant, ask Russell Westbrook. They know. They seen it. Ask James Harden. He's seen it.
Ask Van Vliet, even though he got hurt.
Exactly. Ask Van Vliet what was about to happen.
Yeah, they've seen it. They don't want that to happen. But nonetheless, Golden State Warriors, their defense and their third quarter run close game 2, and they end up tying the series 1-1. Now on to Boston, Ja. And in Boston, Wednesday, 9:00. Who do you have in game 3?
The Warriors winning 3 straight.
I know you don't have the Warriors winning 3 straight.
All right, I guess. The Warriors will take it away, just like how Boston took it away for them in their home floor. They're gonna take it away on Boston's home floor.
Maybe that might be, but just not in game 3. I got Boston in game 3. We'll see what happens. Yeah. But before we close out, it's just some news I guess we go over. Quinn Snyder is stepping down from in Utah as their head coach.
I know you're smiling right now about this. You just want to smile about this. You want to joke, make fun.
Why would I be smiling?
You know how you feel about Quinn Snyder right now.
I don't hate him. He's a good coach.
Yeah, you don't hate him. I know you give him his flowers at the end of the day still, but yeah.
Gave him his flowers last year, and yeah, Kawhi went down and they somehow lost. But
PG-13.
Quinn Snyder is stepping down as the Utah Jazz head coach, and I think this is a good decision for him. I think it's a good decision for Utah as well, not having him as the head coach is one. I think it's ran its course. I don't think the Jazz are going to get better with him as their coach. I don't think they are going to move up or go deeper in the playoffs with him as their head coach. They've had their opportunities. Now it's with him. If he was staying there, I mean, it's either stagnant or down. I don't see them uh, getting to Western Conference Finals, let alone getting to the NBA Finals. They had their opportunities. They were up 3-1 with him a few years back in the bubble. They lost.
Yeah.
They were the number 1 seed last year. They were up 2-0 against Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers tied the series. Then their best player, Kawhi Leonard, went down. And then they lost on their home floor in Game 5 and let Terrence Mann score 39 points.
You're never going to stop bringing that.
No, I won't. A role player scored 39 points. Like I said, I've heard 20, heard 22, maybe 25, not 39. But nonetheless, and then this year, in which Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks was out for the first 3 games, they found themselves down 2-1 and then eventually lost the series in Game 6. So, I mean, it's time for a change. It's time for a change. Quinn Snyder can do other stuff with another team. He will get a new job. I understand faith in him because, like I said, he's a good coach. He's a playoff caliber coach. And we'll see if he can upgrade a team to more than that. And as for Utah, well, they need to figure out the situation with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
But see if, I mean, there's some good coaches on the market. See if you can get a good coach and help fix this roster.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When you look at this Utah team, I still say they're a top 5 talented team in the league. When you look at it from top to bottom in terms of the players that they have, the personnel or whatsoever. But they have what's surprising, despite them being that top 4, top 5 talented team, they have a whole lot of flaws that's way more revealing than those other talented teams that you could call out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the thing with Quinn Snyder is, I feel like offensively, he's a really good coach. He knows how to get his team going offensively, even though some players don't show up in the postseason, which is not on him. It's all up to them, though. But I do feel like they got the freedom, though, still. I feel like defensively is where you catch him at, because he doesn't know how to make defensive adjustments. And I feel like that's what Utah needs. Utah needs that balanced coach. They need that coach that is going to empower them offensively, but discipline them defensively in order to make adjustments to change up. Because again, let's be honest, they got exposed in that Clippers series. The teams went 5-1, and you see what happened when they went 5-1, 5 out.
Yeah, 5 out.
Yeah, and you see what happened when they did that. The Clippers basically gave all the other really good teams that might face them in the future playoffs a blueprint on how to defeat them, because with the players that they have, they can only play perimeter so much. You know what I mean? So it's just things like that. If they could get a well-balanced coach, this would be perfect. And I'm not saying that Quinn Snyder wasn't good enough. I'm just saying he wasn't well-balanced defensively to help them out.
Yep, and I agree, and I blame him more on Rudy Gobert's defensive struggles than Rudy Gobert. I know a lot of people like to pick on Gobert for his lack of perimeter defense, but when you have been taught and trained by a head coach and he's telling you that you're the protector of the paint and you're only guarding the paint, that is on the coach and the other guys to help you out on the perimeter.
Exactly.
It didn't. Quinn Snyder didn't make the adjustment. So there you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just real quickly, like and that's the only 2 things that you look at it is just like what you said, and also again, Utah players, when it comes to important moments like the postseason, you got to step up. It can't be just mostly Donovan Mitchell. Like that's what I realized. Like at first, I used to think that they used to always do good. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like with this postseason run, it was just here and there. Like, you know what I mean? Which is like, again, Donovan Mitchell started to have to get the label of being a chucker because of the fact, like, those other players can't show up when it's important. Like Mike Conley had a horrible series, and nobody talks about him as much.
Yeah.
Horrible series. Jordan Clarkson was just here and there. And I always say, and I say it right now, Bogdanovich was their second best player in this series, for sure. And he was hot to start off, and then he went somewhere else right after the in the third game. Like right after the third game, he was nowhere to be found after that. So it's just like, again, if the others not named Donovan Mitchell could step up along with what you just stated right there with the defensive liability that's not on Gobert, they could be, even if they have their flaws defensively, they could have still won games if that one out of the two things when I just worked in their favor.
I'm in agreement. We'll see where Quinn Snyder lands. I believe he 100% will get another coaching job in the NBA. We'll see what team he can help out. All right, Ja, as we see the stumbling and scuffles with Draymond behind me.
I was focused on that. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
But it's the NBA Finals. I love it. It's tense. It's trash talking. But what do you expect? And no, he should not have gotten ejected. But all right. Throw it out the way, Ja. Any final thoughts?
Hey, Tom, why Draymond talking like that? Like he's the reason they be winning games.
I don't do that. He is the reason. He is the reason. One of them. He's one of the reasons.
Curry and Clay been carrying him for like 6 years. I don't know why he acting like he the big man all of a sudden. Let me stop. I just joking.
Those are 2 years ago talk when Charles Barkley said he got a triple single.
What? Where to?
But all right. Well, you got something else to say?
No.
Okay. Well, let's wrap this all up. So thank you guys for watching today's podcast. Make sure to tune into Thursday's podcast when we recap Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, support the channel, give us feedback, all that good stuff.
Also tune into our social medias, our TikTok and our Instagram.
Yes, and thank you for the recent support that we've gotten on our TikTok page. Anybody that came over from TikTok that was watching these YouTube videos, appreciate all the love and the support. Recently, just got over 1,000 followers on TikTok. I love to see it. People apparently love Michael Jordan, so keep that in mind. But
and real quickly, luckily this shit. So my final thought, real quickly, please. When we say Michael Jordan's the God, we don't mean that in an actual way. It's a figurative thing. Nobody's going to legit compare him to God Almighty. And so we know Michael Jordan's not God because trust and believe, he's not no perfect man. And, I would never like to call out Jordan like that because, I feel like that's bad luck. That's bad luck to me. That's how I look at him a little bit as like, some kind of symbolic figure. I feel like he can make bad luck happen to you. You talk negative about him. But outside of that, we don't mean he's a literal God. Relax, calm down. Don't get me wrong. He's probably the closest that we've seen to
all right, okay. Let's calm down. But about the bad luck thing is that's why Washington and Charlotte's like that?
Basically.
I mean, it was his fault. But yes, we don't mean Jordan is a literal God, okay? He's not perfect. He has a lot of problems. Don't have a gambling problem. I think I have a competition problem. That's still one of the funniest quotes I've ever heard from him ever. But yes, so please, people, y'all can chill out, okay? Larry Bird didn't mean that either. He just meant that game, it was almost as if, that was the point.
But when it got to the point, we know y'all was getting out of hand when it got to a point where somebody tried to compare him to a high school star.
Yeah, let's just leave it at that. But yes, thank you to all the TikTok followers that we recently got over these past 3 days. Really appreciate the love and support from everybody that's been following us on TikTok. Like I said, once again, let's wrap up this podcast. So I'm Evan.
I'm Ja.
And this was the Minor Basketball Podcast.
NBA Finals Edition.